Hi Gabby, thanks for joining me here today.
No worries.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Thank you. Today we're going to be doing some coaching work and I'm going to be coaching you on how to change a trimmer line in a battery operated whippersnapper.
Yep.
Yep, cool. So this is the unit that we're actually going to be working with. Right, it's a Black & Decker battery operated whippersnapper. In addition to changing out the trimmer line, which is located down here, we need to do a few things to make sure that it's safe, and we might need some tools that we need to use to help us get that trimmer line out. So I've got with me today a little pair of pliers which we can use to cut the trimmer line if we need to. I've also got a very small headed flat blade screwdriver that you might need to winkle out the trimmer line. And of course we need to have some replacement trimmer line. So they're the things we need. Any questions so far?
No, pretty straightforward.
All right, so let's talk through the process of what we're going to do. So to start with, I'm going to explain what it is that we're doing. So I'll explain the task. Then I'll demonstrate the task for you. When I've done that, if you've got any questions, please ask them.
Yeah.
And then following that demonstration, we'll go through the process together. So I'll get you to actually handle the whippersnapper and change the line, but I'll provide guidance and assistance where you need it as we work through it.
Okay.
Right, we'll discuss again if there's any things that you've got concerns about. And then the third process is that you will do the same task on your own.
Yeah.
And that will be your assessment. And if you're able to successfully do that, I can say that yes, you know how to do the task.
Awesome.
All clear?
Yeah, very straightforward.
No issues?
Nope.
All right, well, let's get started. Okay, so let me explain what we're going to do. So the first thing we need to do is to make sure that we de-energise the machine by removing the battery. Okay, so to remove the battery, we need to lift that orange tab there. You hear the click, and then remove the battery from the unit. Okay?
Okay.
Right, we'll just have a little squeeze on the trigger to make sure nothing happens, so we know it's safe.
Okay.
Okay? The next thing we're going to do is remove the cover off the trimmer head. And to do that, we need to squeeze the orange lugs that are there. Can you see those?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to squeeze those together, and that will allow us to lift the trimmer head out like so.
Okay.
Okay. Once we get that off, then we need to take out the spool. As you can see, there's still a little bit of line left on the spool, but we can just lift this out, and that will come out as we lift.
Okay.
Okay. At this point, we can set this aside over here. And we need to remove the excess line, or the old line that's still there. Okay? There's a couple of ways we can do this. We can pull it forward into the slot that's there.
Yeah.
And then lift it out. And if it's a little bit too hard for us to pull forward, then we can use the little screwdriver to help us move it along. Right, you just need to be careful with your fingers when you're doing that, okay?
Okay.
See how I've done that?
Yeah.
Right, once it's out like that, it's easy to remove.
Yeah.
Okay, so we take that out, and then we need to put a new line in. Now, typically, we would measure 2 metres to 3 metres of line, and that would be what we'd wind onto the spool.
Okay.
All right, there's one just over there that I would pre-cut. If you could pass that over, thank you very much. And I'll demonstrate and explain how we do this. So the little hole in the top there, near the L-shaped groove, we need to push the end of the line down into that hole until it stops.
Yeah.
Okay? Then once it's down in there, we feed the rest of the line into that little L-shaped groove and pull it down until it clicks into spot there.
Yeah.
Okay? Any questions so far?
No.
All right. So then we need to look at the big directional arrow that's on the top of the spool,
Mm-hmm.
and that arrow is telling us that we need to wind on the trimmer line in that direction.
Yeah.
Right, it's important that we get that right or it won't work properly. So to wind on the trimmer line, it's simply a case of just wrapping it continuously around the spool until we get close to the end of the line. It's important that we don't let the line overlap itself too much,
Okay.
because that could lead to it tangling later as we're trying to use it. Right, so I want to leave about 10 centimetres left over, not wound onto the spool, so that I can push that through the outlet hole on the head of the whippersnapper and allow me enough room to reinstall it onto the shaft. So I'll just grab that whippersnapper back. And you can see the outlet hole there on the whippersnapper head.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. So I'll poke through the end of the line through there and keep it tight. Push the spool back over the spindle, and I've still got hold of the trimmer line, and then I can reinsert the cover.
And you're just keeping tension on that.
That's exactly right. I've kept tension on the end of the line so that it doesn't go loose, and then making sure that the spring sits over the centre of the spindle.
What happens if it's loose?
If it's loose, it'll all unwind.
Right.
But once I get the cover back on, you can hear that's clicked into place and it's sitting well. I can now let go. All right?
Okay.
And that's ready to go. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so we've checked that everything's gone back together successfully. Any questions with any of that?
No.
All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get you to do that exercise, and you can ask me questions and I'll offer advice as we work through it together. And then we'll discuss again at the end of that.
Awesome.
You good?
Yeah.
Cool. Here's your machine.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the very first thing you need to do, of course, is to de-energise it.
So
Make it safe.
the battery.
Excellent.
And checking.
Yep. Checking to make sure nothing happens. Absolutely perfect. Thank you. All right. So that's good. Give yourself good access to the head of the machine.
Yep.
Yep. That's it. It won't fall from there. And you need to open up the top by removing the top cover.
Just squeeze here.
Yeah, squeeze those orange tabs and lift the cover. Yeah, perfect. There you go.
Okay, cool.
All right, so now you can see the top of the spool, and the spool removes quite easily. You just need to grab it and pull it up, and the wire, the trimmer line, sorry, will come out with it. All right. Easy.
Yeah, really easy.
So now you need to remove that old trimmer line.
Push forward.
Yeah, so it's quite firm.
Oh,
There you go. You heard the click. It's excellent. Well done.
Brilliant.
All right, we can discard that. We don't need that. All right, so now you're ready to put the new trimmer line in. So grab yourself a length of line.
This one?
That'll do perfectly. Now, normally we'd cut the length 2 to 3 metres, but for this exercise we'll just use that one that you've already got. So you need to insert the end of that into the little hole just next to the L groove.
This one?
That one, yep. And then pull the top of it over, down through the L groove and back towards the hole, really firm, and it'll go click. There you go. Perfect.
Cool.
All right. Now, using the arrow that's on the top of the spool, wind on the trimmer line, keeping it nice and tight, and trying not to have too many lines crossing over each other, because that'll make it harder to use later on. And wind it all on until you get to about 10 centimetres or so left. You need to use your fingers to keep the line tight on the spool.
Yeah.
That's really important, otherwise it'll just go crazy and all unwind.
No worries.
All right, you're doing a good job. I can see you're a bit close to the end.
Oops. Really lost it. So about there or more?
A little bit more, about 10 centimetres. Yeah, that'll do.
About there.
All right, so now you need to put the end of the trimmer line through the outlet hole on the head of the whippersnapper.
Down this way.
And you need to have the arrow facing up to you when you insert the spool back onto the spindle.
Alright. So we go.
Yep. And keep that line tight. Okay. Good job.
Yeah.
All right, now you need to put the cover back on. Yeah, and I can see that's sitting perfectly, so well done. Great job.
Awesome. Thank you.
Now, we need to reinsert the battery.
Yeah.
Excellent. I can hear the click, so it's all locked into place.
Yeah.
All right, now, if we were in a different situation, we'd test it to make sure that it was all operating effectively.
Mm-hmm.
But because we don't have the right PPE and we're indoors, we're not going to do that today.
Okay.
Okay?
No worries.
So, great job. All we need to do now is to have you do it again on your own.
Okay.
All right? Are you ready to do that?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So you've got that questions. You've got your instructions there. I'm going to give it to you. Take your time. There's no rush, and yeah, just work through it step by step, and you should be fine.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. Here we go. There's the tool, and over to you.
Okay. So we undo this first, and then undo what? Okay.
Great job.
Thank you.
Congratulations. How did you feel about that? Feel comfortable?
Yeah, I do. I feel like I accomplished something as well.
So
Very easy.
you'd be confident to do it next time you need to?
Yeah, definitely. Super
That's
easy.
awesome. All right, so I'd just like to talk a little bit. That part of the coaching is over, but I'd like to talk a little bit about how that process was for you. I might just move that out of the way.
Oh.
Thank you. Just get that over there. So how was that for you? How did you feel? Was it easy, relaxed, comfortable?
Yeah, it was really easy. I think because you went through it step by step. Otherwise, I would have had a bit of a challenge for it if you had gone like really quick pace and just had done it. Like, I think that having all the steps and going through it and showing me really clearly like what each thing was helped. Just because I need to be able to see it. I can't just be told that there'll be like an L shape or something. I need to actually see what that looks like. And the instructions were great as well, so it was really comfortable.
Awesome. All right, so I'm also going to ask you to fill out a feedback form for me, which I'll give to you shortly. So if you could do that for me before you go today, that would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, no worries.
And it's been a pleasure working with you, and I hope I get to come back and do some more.
Yeah, not a problem. Thank you.
Thanks, Gabby.